Hi guys, so it's now day number 4 in Hasselt, so I've had a really good day today. You're probably wondering, I keep doing these from my room. Went down to go cook just now and the Spanish have taken over the kitchen, so just kind of decided I'll let them finish cooking whatever they were doing. There's heaps of them. I'll go and cook in a wee while because the kitchen's open till 11, so we have kitchen opening hours. It's from 7 till 11, like 7 in the morning till 11 at night, so it's alright hours. Suits me for like an 8 o'clock start kinda. I'll just have breakfast in my room. But yeah, no, so I had a busy day today. You woke me up. I thought he said he was coming for me at he said he was going to come for me at 8:45, right? And that he would text me when he was 5 minutes away. Well, he phoned me at 8:30 this morning saying I'm outside. And I was like, alright, okay. Cheers for my 5-minute warning. I was just heading to the shower. He was like, oh, take your time. And I was like, alright, okay. So just kind of got dressed quickly. Catastrophe number 2 has happened. Number 2 has happened. I lost my swipe card to get into my room. So I've turned my room upside down. I am taking the blame for this, but I am not also taking the full responsibility for this, because the swipe key that they gave me, I'll show you what they look like. This one's just as bad. Swipe keys that they give you are like this, and as you can see this one's broken and it's been sellotaped back together. Well, that is exactly what my one looked like as well, except there was no sellotape. And it stayed on my keyring alright, but any kind of pull and it was off, so it's obviously come off somewhere. But went downstairs and the woman was like, well, you can't have lost it if it's inside. I was like, well, I've turned my room upside down, literally, even checked under the fridge. I've checked in the sheets, I've checked everywhere. It's not there. So she's given me this one for now, and I said, well, maybe someone's handed it in. Maybe someone's picked up and just not handed it in yet. So if no one hands it in, then I've got to pay €35, which I think is ridiculous because they should give me one that's not broken to begin with. But oh well, I'm not fighting with them about it. So sorry, I'm just getting more comfortable. It's snowing outside today. I'm well excited. It is. You probably can't even see. It's snowing, and I'm so happy about this. I don't know if you can actually see. Oh well, if you couldn't see, I'm sorry. Yes, it's snowing. I love the snow, so it's definitely not making me feel homesick, because home's here pretty much. It's freezing outside. So you picked me up. I got downstairs probably like 10:45, after all the catastrophes of waking up at 8:30 and then getting ready. So that was alright, and then I got downstairs, went outside, and the woman was like, oh, we'll sort it out when you come back if you're back before 12, and I was like, okay, that's fine. It was like, come on, we need to go, I've got to take my wife to work, and I was like, alright, okay. If I'd known your wife had to go to work, I would have been a lot quicker. I'd have been down and I'd have left my catastrophe till later. So his wife's lovely. Everyone's lovely here, to be fair. His wife's lovely. She didn't say very much, but I could tell she was nice. She had a nice face. So she's nice. So we dropped her off at work, and her work's right next to the hospital, so it was fine. So we went to PHL Healthcare Building today, and oh my god, so I'm going to be shattered for the next 14 weeks, I've decided, because the amount of work I've got to do for PHL is unreal. So I think I'd be like having a nice time if I was at home, but yeah, it's pretty crazy the amount of work. I'm going to show you it all. So to begin with, I have my academic timetable. It should be in here. For those of you nurses at home, you will all know our plaid. The plaid has come with me to Belgium. It has to be filled in as well. So all our normal healthcare, like all our normal stuff, has to be filled in. And then I've got all my Belgian stuff to fill in as well. So I've got to do all the stuff that their students do as well as our own students. So this is my academic timetable. It tells me that I'm here. So my 2 placements, I'm in operating theatres from here to here. And then I'm going to community care called White Yellow Cross. And that's got something to do with their emblem. That they're called White Yellow Cross. It was a religious run thing before. So, and these 2 weeks I'm off on holiday. So my 14-week placement is actually only going to be 12 weeks. I'm actually on placement. So, and in order for me to do all my hours, I've got to do 210 hours to get 10 ECT credits. So this module is worth 20, so I've got to do 420 hours in total. But my introduction to each of my placements and all the paperwork I do classes as 10, so I've actually only got to do 200 hours on each placement, and which is like kind of what everyone else back home needs to do. They've all got to do 420, but because mine is over 2 weeks shorter, I've got to do more hours every week. So they reckon I'm going to be working about 440 hours a week. So that's 10 hours more than we would be doing back home. So that's pretty intense already. Although, like I say, I can do more or less than that, kind of depending on what I want. Yoop says if I'm in an operation and like I finish at 3:30 and it's still going on, that I should probably stay for the operation, which is probably what I would do anyway, but I get credited for all those hours. Also here, all your uni work that you do while you're there gets credited, so I suppose that's like your 7.5 hours like study days that you get. So that's cool. And yeah, so but here your study gets included and it's you get 20% extra hours. So instead of doing 210 hours on my placement, I end up actually being credited for 252 hours. So I worked it out earlier, over the period of this placement that I'm doing, I'll get credited for 504 hours. So I will be doing 84 hours more than everyone else. Obviously I don't know about the other Erasmus students, but back home I would be doing 84 hours more than I would. So that's timetables. So I start in operating theatres on Thursday morning, 8 o'clock. I went today, so I went after I filled all my paperwork out. I went to visit my mentor, and you have a mentor in placement, but you also have a monitor who is someone from the university. So it's like our pals or our pet. Yeah, it's like our pals and our PEF like combined. But the difference is that they come to visit you once every week. So they make time and they come and visit you and they sit down and they talk about your progress. So that's really good. It means you're it's like having a good mentor. I suppose actually it's probably better than having a good mentor because you're sitting down talking once a week and it's scheduled. So that's good. So also I'm going to be getting to learn, because the Belgian students here all do cannulation and taking bloods and everything. I'm going to get, in a couple of weeks, going to go into the skills lab and go and learn how to do cannulation. So that's really cool because I want to do that. So hopefully I'll be cannulating people. So as I said, my first placement's in theatres. This brings me on to my next thing. Belgian students, when they're on placement, have these things called learning goals. So it's like our tick box things, but it's more time consuming because your mentor doesn't really do very much with you other than oversee your learning. you get given these learning goals, and there's 12 questions on this one, and there's 9 questions for my other set 6 weeks. So this one I should be doing 2 questions a week, and they're like kind of essay style questions, so you've got to do kind of 2-minute essays every week. He says they've got to be about a page long, but knowing me, mine's will be longer than that. So about a page, 2 pages a week I've got to do extra work. So that's 40 hours and my 2 days, my 2 essay questions. And then we also have, I've got to fill in my timesheet for Belgium. So I've got to do my own timesheet for RG, and then I've got to do my timesheet for Belgium. Also, their students all have to do this thing called a feedback sheet, and that's like, he said he'd kind of like it to be daily, so it's like kind of daily feedback on how you think you're getting on, and then you get nurses as well to give you feedback. So he says if you've got negative criticism, that's not bad unless it keeps coming back, which is fair enough, and then they've got to help you. So he says I should pretty much be acting like a nurse while I'm here, like a fully qualified nurse. So and what I found quite scary was that when I'm in operating theatres, I'm going to be asked pretty much, I've got to learn, part of my thing, I've got to learn all like scrub nurses and everything, all their roles, which is really cool because I'm sure everyone who's been in theatres for placements probably had to do something like that as well. But I'm going to be doing scrub nurse at some point I've got to do a circulatory nurse, so the go for nurse, and then that's the minimum requirements for you to pass the placement. So yeah, hopefully I'll be alright with that. It's just knowing where things are and being able to go and collect them. But that's fine. But the problem, I think the goal I'm going to have to set myself is learning things in Dutch, because if I do the scrub nursing, I've got to learn all the instruments' names in Dutch. So there's a lot of instruments to learn in an operating room. I'm going to have to learn them all in Dutch, and that's quite scary. They're not going to ask them for me, like ask them in English. They're going to ask them for me, like from me in Dutch. So it's going to be pretty intense. And then I'll have to go to do the Yellow Cross, but I don't really know very much about that other than it's community care. And yeah. So yeah, and the nurses I met today are lovely. So Hilda's my mentor, and the head nurse that I met, I'm not going to try and say his name because it's Geert. No, it's Geert. Geert. He is so lovely. He's so nice. He was like to me, I'm going to be like a father to you. So hopefully, and he's lovely. He was really smiley and happy. So he says that everyone's enjoyed their placements here before, so that's great, and they love Scottish students. They've told me that. So I'm on to a winner, I think, here. So not much has really else happened today apart from it's snowing. I freaking love the snow. I already told you that though, because I've already showed you the snow, but that's awesome. I've just noticed that these videos are getting longer and longer and longer every single day. I don't mean for them to get longer, but I think it's because I'm doing more with my life. I'm not just like shopping. Oh, speaking of shopping, went shopping today, and guess what? Plate and bowl gate has been averted. I found a bowl and a plate. I think I bought 4 of them, so I'm well happy about that. So I've now finally got plates and bowls, so I can eat again. So that's good. Although looking at myself in the mirror earlier, chunker really needs to cut down a bit. I think, which is I think I just have to lay off buying chocolate. But oh well, when in Belgium. But yeah, so I also discovered that cycling in the snow is fun. I went out on my bike because I didn't want to walk to the shop. It's only like a 10-minute walk away, but it's like a 2-minute cycle, so cycled along to the shop. It was pretty awesome. Sorry, that was my laptop going off there, that's my face got dark. Yeah, so that was fun. If extreme sports could get any more extreme, that would be the one I'd be picking. It would be snow biking, as I'm calling it now. So snow biking is awesome. And my thought for today is, if anyone knows, what do they call stitches in Dutch? Tell me, because I'd like to know that. Right, adios amigos, speak to you later, bye!